Have you ever noticed that you seem to be dating the same person in different bodies, or that every argument with your partner ends in the exact same cold silence, no matter how hard you try to change the script? It's as if you are a character in a movie who has forgotten they are the one holding the camera, or perhaps you feel like a ghost haunting your own love life, doomed to repeat the same mistakes until you lose yourself entirely. Most people believe they are choosing their partners based on chemistry or shared interests, but the truth is often much darker and more subconscious. We don't choose what makes us happy, we choose what feels familiar, even if that familiarity is what's destroying our peace. Before we peel back the layers of these invisible chains, I want to invite you to be part of our growing community. If you are a woman tired of the cycle and ready to reclaim the elegance of your true self through ancient wisdom, please subscribe to our channel. Your presence here strengthens this circle of feminine evolution, and we would love to have you with us on this journey. To understand why we repeat these patterns, we must look at the Japanese concept of ien, or the invisible threads of faith that connect us. While ien is often seen as a beautiful connection, it can also represent the karmic knots we tie ourselves into when we haven't healed our past wounds. In Japan, there is a profound understanding that our current reality is a mirror of our internal landscape. If your landscape is filled with the debris of old heartbreaks or childhood insecurities, your relationships will naturally reflect that chaos. Think about your current or past relationship right now. Does it feel like a sanctuary, or does it feel like a battlefield where the weapons are always the same? We often blame our partners for the repetitive drama, but the pattern belongs to us. It is an internal blueprint that we carry from house to house, wondering why every roof eventually leaks. Breaking these patterns isn't about finding a better person, it's about becoming a person who no longer recognizes those toxic dynamics as home. It requires a radical form of honesty that most people are too afraid to face. But you are here because you are different. You are here because you've realized that the common denominator in all your stories is you, and while that realization is painful, it is also the only thing that gives you the power to change the ending. As we move forward, I want you to ask yourself, am I loving from a place of abundance, or am I just trying to fill a hole that was dug long before I met this person? The answer to that question is the first step in cutting the threads that no longer serve your spirit. To break a pattern, you must first see the invisible structure that supports it. In the West, we often try to fix our relationship problems by changing our external behavior, but in the Japanese tradition, true change starts with a concept called Kintsugi. You may have seen the beautiful pottery where cracks are repaired with gold, making the piece stronger and more exquisite than before it was broken. But here is the secret most people miss. The gold doesn't hide the break, it illuminates it. Your destructive patterns are the cracks in your soul, often formed in your earliest years when you learned that love had to be earned, or that love meant being invisible, or perhaps that love was synonymous with conflict. You carry these broken pieces into your adulthood, trying to glue them together with the wrong people, hoping they won't see the jagged edges. But until you apply your own golden repair through self-awareness, you will keep attracting people who poke at those very wounds. I want to pause here for a moment of reflection. If you've ever felt like you were a too much or a not enough for someone you loved, I want you to type the word "holy" in the comments. Let's create a space where we acknowledge that our value isn't defined by our past failures. This interaction is important because the ego loves to keep these patterns in the dark. By naming them, you begin to dissolve their power over you. The Japanese philosophy of wabi-sabi also teaches us to find beauty in the imperfect and the transient, but many women confuse this with accepting toxic behavior. They think that loving someone's flaws means staying in a house that is on fire. That is not wabi-sabi, that is self-abandonment. Real evolution happens when you realize that your pattern of choosing emotionally unavailable partners or staying in situations that diminish your light is actually a way of protecting yourself from real intimacy. If you keep choosing people who can't truly see you, You never have to risk being truly known. It's a safe, lonely loop. But your spirit is tired of the safety of the cage. It is ready for the freedom of the open sky. We have to look at the secondary gain of your patterns. What is the comfort you find in the chaos? Does it feel safer to be the victim than to be the one responsible for your own happiness? These are difficult questions, the kind of questions that a woman of essence must ask if she ever wants to experience a love that is as calm as a mountain lake. In the next part of our journey, we are going to talk about a specific Japanese ritual of detachment that will help you stop the cycle of reliving your trauma through your partners and start living your truth. The path to liberation begins with a practice known in Japanese tradition as Misogi. Originally, this was a ritual of purification through water, a way to wash away the impurities of the world to reveal the pristine spirit beneath. In the context of your relationships, Misogi is a mental and emotional cleansing. It is the act of consciously washing away the ghosts of your past lovers and the expectations of your childhood that you have projected onto the person standing in front of you. When you are caught in a destructive pattern, you aren't actually seeing your partner. You are seeing a projection of your own unhealed trauma. You are reacting to things they haven't even done yet because you are so certain they will eventually hurt you in the same way everyone else did. This is how we self-sabotage. We create the very abandonment we fear because our energy is so focused on the exit door. To stop this, you must engage in a daily ritual of presence. Every time you feel that old, familiar spark of anxiety or that urge to pick a fight to attest to your partner's loyalty, you must pause and ask, is this happening now, or is this a memory from then? This distinction is the sharp blade that cuts the thread of repetition. I want you to imagine your heart as a sacred garden. For years, you have allowed the same weeds to grow, strangling the flowers before they could even bloom. You have become an expert at identifying the weeds, but you haven't yet learned how to pull them out by the root. The root is the belief that you are only worthy of love if you are struggling for it. But in the quiet elegance of the Japanese tea ceremony, we learn that true beauty and connection come from simplicity, respect, and being fully in the moment. A relationship should not be a constant reclamation project. It should be a shared space of tranquility. If you find yourself exhausted by the emotional labor of fixing a man or saving your relationship, you are still operating from your old blueprint. You are trying to find your value through your suffering. It is time to retire that version of yourself. Start by observing your triggers without reacting to them. When the pattern tries to pull you back into the old drama, stand still. Do not send that text. Do not make that accusation. Do not withdraw into your shell. By doing nothing, you are actually doing everything. You are breaking the momentum of a lifetime. You are showing your subconscious mind that there is a new way to be, a way that is grounded in the Shikantaza, the art of just sitting here with the truth. This stillness is where your power lies. It is the only place where you can finally hear the voice of your intuition, which has been trying to warn you for years, but was drowned out by the noise of your repetitive cycles. In the final part of our session, we will discuss how to build a new foundation, one that ensures you never return to the patterns that once broke your heart. The final step in this transformation is the most beautiful one, and it is captured in the Japanese concept of Ishigo Ichi, the understanding that this moment happens only once and will never be repeated. When you live with this mindset, you realize that every interaction in your relationship is a fresh beginning. You are no longer dragging the heavy chains of yesterday into the bedroom or the kitchen. You are meeting your partner and yourself as if for the very first time. To truly stop repeating destructive patterns, you must build a new internal foundation based on self-respect and the quiet dignity of the ancestral feminine. This means setting boundaries not with anger, but with the firm grace of a silk thread that cannot be broken. You must become the gatekeeper of your own peace. If a dynamic begins to feel like that old, toxic home you once lived in, you must have the courage to walk away before the walls close in again. You are not a victim of fate. You are the master of your energy. Remember that the goal of breaking a pattern isn't to find a perfect, flaw-free relationship. Those do not exist. The goal is to find a relationship where you are free to be your authentic self, without the need to perform, to hide, or to repeat the tragedies of your past. You have done the hard work of looking into the mirror and identifying the knots in your thread. Now, you are free to weave a new story, one of harmony, depth, and lasting connection. This journey of self-evolution is the highest form of art you will ever create. As we close this chapter today, I want to thank you for your courage to look within. Changing a lifetime of patterns is not easy, but it is the most rewarding work you will ever do. If you felt a spark of recognition today and want to continue elevating your life and your relationships through this blend of modern insight and ancient wisdom, please subscribe to our channel. We are building a sanctuary for women who refuse to settle for anything less than a life of essence and grace. Your support means the world to us, and by joining this community, you are declaring to the universe that you are ready for a new chapter. Click the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay connected to your path of growth. You deserve a love that heals you, not a love that breaks you. Carry the spirit of Kintsugi with you today. Honor your cracks, but fill them with the gold of your newfound wisdom. You are stronger, wiser, and more beautiful than you have ever been. Until next time, stay mindful, stay elegant, and remember that your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. I will see you in our next video.